It is week 6 of the Wolfey Draft League Season 2, and your Jubilife Piplups are taking on ShadyPenguinn alongside his New York Mankeys. Shady is a phenomenal Draft League veteran with multiple years of experience and has one of the scariest Mega Evolutions in the entire league with Mega Eternal Floette, one of the strongest Mega Evolutions introduced in Pokemon Champions. It's going to be a super big threat to our team, especially with multiple Fairy Weeks, but first let's go over the matchup alongside the team that we brought and finally get into the games. I'm super excited as Shady is one of the people who got me into Draft League in general as I consumed his content over the years, and as always it's going to be an honor to play him once again. But let us see if we can take on him and his super threatening flower. So this is the matchup for week 6 of the Draft League, and Shady's draft is definitely out there. Definitely some wild picks that features especially multiple different Mega Pokemon options that Shady does have access to, but most likely you are going to bring the Eternal Floette against my team, as I do not have many Fairy Resist on my team. So that is basically what I'm expecting. Then the rest, I kind of have an idea, but I'm not 100% certain. I'm just pretty confident that we're going to see the Mega Eternal Floette. The Rage Powder Scovillain I imagine is going to be support because it does help the Eternal Floette, especially dealing with my Mega Lucario, which is the biggest threat to that Eternal Floette. And then I'm kind of assuming that we're probably going to see the Tauros, I imagine, especially a Choice Scarf one to threaten the Mega Lucario, because Shady does need something that outspeeds my Mega Lucario, and the only way he can really do that is going to be through the Tauros. So that's kind of the idea what I have. The rest I'm not 100% sure. I'm assuming Meowstic maybe comes in. Thunder Wave Safeguard makes a lot of sense against my team. Garchomp I think makes sense. Milotic, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I'm not too confident we'll see the Drampa or the Umbreon against my team, because Mega Lucario is a Pokemon I think is very likely to be brought against this team, but we'll see what Shady decides to bring here. All I know is if I want a chance against this team, I will be bringing the Mega Lucario because it's the only Pokemon that can really threaten the Eternal Floette, as even with Blastoise Shell Smash, it's not exactly a guarantee against the Eternal Floette, and I will probably be taking a lot of damage. And if he does bring Screens Meowstic, yeah, like even +2 Blastoise won't be able to threaten the Floette nearly as much as I would like it to. So we will be going to Mega Lucario mode. Let's see what I cooked up for Shady this week. So this is the team I'm bringing against Shady for week 6, and I think it is probably some of the best idea. I actually had a bit more of a standardish team going into it, but then I woke up and was like, you know what? There's an idea I really want to try, so I'm going to try it and see if it works. So the idea here is, of course, Mega Lucario. Mega Lucario is one of the biggest threats to Shady's team because it's able to fire off some pretty good offensive pressure into the Eternal Floette, knocking out with that adaptability Meteor Mash. The close combat hits really hard, especially into his walls. Like the Milotic doesn't appreciate close combat. Umbreon definitely goes down to close combat unless it's Chople Berry. So I will be bringing the Mega Lucario here. This one's just easy to be able to outspeed the Garchomp as well as the Eternal Floette. And that's all I really need, because that is basically the job as a Mega Lucario. Dish out as much damage as possible, outspeed the threats I needed to, and then just maybe have a little bit of bulk in case I need to survive a hit, but we'll see if that actually comes into play. I am bringing Dual Mega this week with Blastoise, but really I don't see myself Mega Evolving Blastoise at all really. It's just there as a second backup into the Garchomp, and that is the idea of this Blastoise. But there's also like some cases where I just get some chip damage, or in some cases maybe I don't Mega Evolve the Lucario and I go with the Blastoise instead. But realistically, this Blastoise is really here just to be able to support the Lucario, and again, kind of a backup answer to the Garchomp. Gain some spread damage, fake out support for the Lucario can also be pretty helpful. So that's kind of the idea of this Blastoise, which is just able to, again, outspeed some of the stuff like the Eternal Floette after a speed drop that we do have access to on our team, especially with that Electroweb Rotom Heat. I think Partial Berry Rotom Heat is really strong against Shady's team because the Partial Berry does help me out against the Milotic, and otherwise Shady doesn't have the best tools to be able to break through Rotom Heat especially, so that's kind of the idea. I have a good amount of special attack, but it's just generally pretty bulky, and again, able to outspeed like the Eternal Floette and stuff after the Electroweb speed drop, which I do think is very handy for the team, because Electroweb speed drop going to be helpful to play around any kind of speed control that Shady might bring. If there's like Tail and Corviknight, I want to make sure I have Electroweb speed control. And again, if there is like Thunder Wave or any other forms of speed control that Shady does opt to bring, I want to make sure my Mega Lucario is outspeeding, because it's really important for Mega Lucario to outspeed and KO stuff before I could get KO'd back. So that's the idea here. So next Pokemon we have is going to be the Vivillon, and Vivillon's going to be really important. Again, ways to support Mega Lucario, ensure it is able to get those knockouts that we do need it to, is going to be through support, and Rage Powder Redirection's really nice for the Mega Lucario because able to redirect like a Moonblast from the Eternal Floette as well as the attacks from the Tauros, very helpful. Tailwind support I think is really nice, especially into, again, any speed control that Shady might bring. Gotta match it if the Core Knight's brought, as well as like it could allow me to get some sweeps with the Blastoise with Water Spout. So I think this combo with Water Spout Blastoise makes a ton of sense for me. And the idea here with the Modest Nature Hurricane, really just to be able to punish that Scovillain. I need to clear Scovillain as quickly as possible so Mega Lucario can actually hit the big threats on Shady's team. So that's the idea of this Vivillon, going with Modest Nature. Focus Sash just to ensure it survives a hit, which is pretty important. So that's the idea behind this Vivillon. And then the final two, it's going to be an interesting mode here. I'm going with a very specially defensive Espafra and Snorlax here. And the fun thing was, like, I thought about more supports for Mega Lucario, but then I was like, you know what? I kind of want to try out the Snorlax mode, because if there's any like super bulky ways that Shady is going to play this, because he's definitely brought some very unconventional sets to the Draft League, I'm like, you know what? I could break through with like this Belly Drum Snorlax, which I think could be really cool under Trick Room, especially, or another option that I have is skill swap with Espafra. We'll see if it actually works, but I kind of like the idea of being able to like skill swap Blastoise or Snorlax, which is pretty cool in one game, and then Trick Room with the other when he's not expecting it. So that's kind of the idea here. This Espafra is a very special defensive to be able to take like a Light of Ruin from like Timid Floette, which is kind of the idea, and just be able to survive attacks that way and then still have enough speed. We're running Twisted Spoon to boost up the damage so I can ensure the knockout into the Tauros, which is pretty important for Lumina Crash, because I still want Lumina Crash as the damage output, but that's kind of the idea behind this Espafra. I can skill swap with the Blastoise, I can pair it with the Snorlax, and still again be able to threaten the Tauros even if it's Choice Scar, so Lucario again has an easier time against the team. And then the Snorlax Belly Drum set, which is going to be able to threaten the Scovillain thanks to Gunk Shot as well as the Eternal Floette even without the boost. Facade is in case like there's Scald Burns or any other statuses that Shady wants to deal with the Snorlax, but really +6 Facade is just going to be able to blow up a lot of his team, so this is kind of the idea behind the Snorlax. I have enough speed to be able to outspeed the Eternal Floette as well as the Garchomp if they're like Admin or Modest Nature after 3 speed boosts, so that's the idea here. Still pretty slow under Trick Room, which will underspeed pretty much anything on his team, and still having a good amount of bulk to be able to survive like a Light of Ruin and get the Belly Drum up from the Snorlax, which is kind of the idea here, because I need to be able to survive attacks because I don't have any recovery on this Snorlax other than a Citrus Berry in this week. But as I said before, Shady's draft is very wild. I'm not 100% sure what to expect. I am very confident Eternal Floette, Scovillain, as well as Tauros is going to pop by. I would assume that the Meowstic is going to come with Safeguard as well. Thunder Wave maybe Screens, but who knows? The rest, I cannot say for certain. So going to try some tricks of my own and see how well it goes. But let's go into the match against Shady. All right, so Eternal Floette, Meowstic with Scovillain. Yep, that's exactly what I anticipated. Tauros, Drampa, which is a surprising one. I didn't expect the Drampa being brought. Everything else is pretty much in my range of expectation, besides the Drampa. Like, I had Milo. Oh, also there's no Garchomp. It's Umbreon instead, which is interesting because I do have Lucario. So Lucario is going to be really important in this matchup, and it's really just how well Shady can navigate through the Mega Lucario here, looks like. No Garchomp's really interesting here. Okay. I gotta think about this, but I do want to lock in the things that I need here. Okay. Override for Umbreon. Okay, I have his team set. What am I going here? I really want to do this Snorlax mode. I know it's probably Safeguard Meowstic. That's what I would guess because of the Vivillon. I think the Vivillon's kind of an annoying threat. Should I go with Lucario immediately? But I'm a little bit worried about Scovillain lead. Scovillain lead's not exactly super fun to handle. I'm thinking maybe like Rotom. Rotom plus Vivillon doesn't sound too bad because I feel like without speed control, I can maybe try to set up for Lucario to do well. I don't think this is too bad. I think I bring Blastoise as the last. I think I bring Dual Mega. I Mega Evolve Lucario. I want to do the Snorlax thing so bad, but maybe that's if it's a game 2. Because right now, this is kind of a weird position for, I think, the Snorlax. I just need to figure out some of the sets that I think Shady has, and then maybe I can see if I can set it up. Yeah, Floette Scovillain is exactly what I thought. Like, Rage Powder plus the Floette just seemed really threatening. So yeah, I'm not surprised by this. I do lead the Vivillon plus the Rotom Heat here, and I think this is a super safe just Electroweb immediately, and I can go for Protect, I could go for Hurricane immediately, or I can Tailwind. I think Protect Electroweb just seems super safe, although this is Calm Mind, I guess, is a little bit annoying, yet I still think this is my best play regardless. So I think I'm just going to go for Protect and Electroweb immediately. As I'm assuming this is going to be like Rage Powder plus Dazzling Gleam, or maybe Moonblast or something. So Floette going to be involved here. Let's see what attack it's going to be, and let's calc it on my Rotom. Okay, Fairy Ore on deck. Vivillon protects. It is Rage Powder, not surprising here. Okay. So that's not a surprise at all. Calm Mind. Okay, so it's Calm Mind. I really wish I actually went for Hurricane instead, but I guess it's not like too bad still. Because once I get rid of Scovillain, I feel pretty good about my Lucario setup. But yeah, here comes Electroweb. I'm going to slow them down a little bit. So let me just update my notes here. This is Rage Powder, also Moody, and they get a special attack boost, which is actually not a great one for me. Okay. And this is Calm Mind. So it's probably not Light of Ruin Calm Mind, I imagine. Also, my Electroweb did 10%. So what is that looking like damage-wise? Looking like he has bulk. Actually, no, it could be no bulk. I have no actually idea on the confirmation. Okay. I'm just going to spam Electroweb, and I'm just going to go for a Hurricane now. Into Scovillain. So if they go for Rage Powder again, this is perfectly fine. Because if I KO Scovillain, I feel pretty good about how the rest of this game plays out. So I hit the Hurricane. No Cobra Berry. And Scovillain goes down. That could have been such a great turn one. But okay, this is still fine. I don't mind this. I get the KO on Scovillain, so Scovillain goes down. And we do get another Electroweb off into the Floette. So I feel pretty good about this because Lucario seems really nice for setup. But let's see what they do here. Draining Kiss into Vivillon, which is going to proc my Focus Sash, so he knows I'm Focus Sash now. Also, I know that it's Draining Kiss. So he has Draining Kiss. Okay. I'm assuming it's Protect as well. I don't really care about like the Floette healing because as long as Meteor Mash KOs, we should be in a good spot. Let's see what he brings out. Could be Tauros, and if it's Tauros, I'm clicking Electroweb and Protect. Yep, Tauros comes out. I'm kind of curious if this is Scarf Tauros. But yeah, I'm just going to click Electroweb here. No reason not to click Electroweb, and I will just Protect. Let's see what the Tauros locks into, because if it's Rock Slide, that's fine, because if this is Choice Scarf Tauros, like I might be anticipating, I'm okay with this, because I can always threaten Meteor Mash later on in the game. This is why Electroweb's really good here. I also get to see like what kind of Tauros he is potentially later on, because he might be like Jolly to outspeed Scarf on the Vivillon, but we'll see. It is Rock Slide here, which I'm not surprised, and the Tauros is going to get a Rock Slide. Hopefully we get this web off, because it's pretty huge. Nice. So that Electroweb did 31, which is pretty good. They go for Calm Mind again. Acceptable. Electroweb to Tauros. Electroweb. 29. He has no bulk like I anticipated. Okay, perfect. So I don't see a reason why I don't just Electroweb again and just go for a Hurricane into the Tauros slot. Or I could Tailwind. Tailwind's also not a bad play here. I want to go for Tailwind. Tailwind's not bad here. Because I could anticipate Tauros protecting if it has Protect. I'm going to go for Tailwind. They switch out Tauros, which makes sense, into the last Mon, which is Umbreon. Okay, Umbreon's the last, which is fine. So I do get a Tailwind up with my Vivillon, and I do get an Electroweb. Okay. And now I get my Lucario into a pretty dominant spot, I'd say. They go for Draining Kiss and a Rotom, which doesn't KO, which is actually kind of unfortunate because I would have wanted Rotom to go down here. Okay. I could get big damage into this Umbreon, though, and that's kind of what I'm liking here. Okay. Spooky, but playable. What's Umbreon looking like? Electroweb, that looks pretty physically defensive, I'd say. I'm just going to overheat the Umbreon and protect the Vivian. I might as well just keep Vivian around because Vivian still has a lot of value as a Rage Powder Mon for the Lucario. So I think I go for Hurricane, or not Hurricane. I go for Protect Vivian. I overheat the Umbreon to get chipped, then bring out the Mega Lucario, which Meteor Mash should KO this easily. Yeah, it should. Okay, they protect Vivian, which is fine. I think they're scared of the Sleep Powder. I go for Overheat. Good damage. Is this Psych Up? No way. Yawn, okay. That's fine, honestly. I think I'm going to double the Umbreon slot with Hurricane Overheat. If I can KO the Umbreon, I'm in good shape, I'd say. So I'm just going to go for the double up into the Umbreon slot, because Overheat did a lot of damage. I assume Hurricane from Max Special Attack Vivian plus Overheat should get the KO on Umbreon. And I assume they're going to try to push the board for like another Yawn plus Fing, or Yawn plus attack from Floette, since I'm in such a passive board state right now. That's at least my guess. Okay, perfect. We do get the Hurricane off. This should do like 30. Ooh, wait, hold on. That did less than I thought. But this is still okay. I do get the Overheat off into the Umbreon. Okay, yeah, I KO the Umbreon. Perfect. So Umbreon goes down, and if the Tauros is Scarf like I thought about this game, I'm feeling pretty good, but we'll see. Gonna be Draining Kiss into the Rotom, which is fine. Because now we can go Lucario, and we can go for Hurricane into the Tauros and Meteor Mash. We just have to hit a Meteor Mash, which is like the only annoying part about this. So yeah, I'm gonna go out into Lucario here. Or I could Rage Powder. Rage Powder is also super safe, but I would have to reveal a lot more techs. So I think I'd rather go for Hurricane here. The Tauros also took chip damage, and we know it's no bulk. And I still have one more turn of Tailwind, right? I do, yeah. So I'm going to go for Meteor Mash with Lucario, and I'm going to go for Hurricane. Please don't dodge the Hurricane, but that's all I need here. Just Hurricane the Tauros, and then Meteor Mash the Floette, because I'll Meteor Mash in case it's Bold Floette, because Meteor Mash from regular Lucario might not KO regular Floette. And I think I lose the game if I miss anyway. Maybe I should just Rage Powdered because I had to save for Lime, but you know what? I'll go for the gamble. Why not? It makes it more fun here. Come on, Vivian, lock in. Compound Eyes. Use your eyes. Use your eyes. It's right in front of you. Victory's in front of you, Vivian. Please don't be like last week. Please don't be like last week. Should be Protect. Oh, no Protects. I just win. Okay, cool. So Meteor Mash comes out, knocks out Floette, beautiful, and we get a Hurricane off into the Tauros, and that should be good here. And we do land, so we would have won regardless. So I'm assuming, like, it's actually funny because I said before when I was prepping for the team, it's like I didn't think I could really figure out like what this line did, but I'm assuming right now my prediction of Scarf Tauros is correct. The Floette, I wasn't expecting to be Calm Mind, but this works out for me. And then Scovillain is like, okay, I know that the Scovillain is probably doing like Scovillain things. So yeah, pretty nice here. So feels pretty good. And we'll go into game 2 and let's see how this is going to play out. I really want to bring the Espafra mode, and I think I could maybe set it up. I could maybe set it up. Man, I really want to go with Espafra mode. I don't think it's good at all, though. I really don't think it's good at all. But it's Espafra, man. The Trick Room or the Skill Swaps tech. You know what? For the fans, I'm bringing Espafra plus Snorlax. I'm doing it, baby. I'm doing it. I think it's fun. I think it'll be fun with Lucario and Vivian in the back. I think I made sure that I didn't reveal Rage Powder on the Vivian, so he might still be fearing Sleep Powder. Rotom Heat was really good. I have an adjustment I can go in game 3 if I really need to make it. I also never showed the Blastoise, which is pretty good. I think this mode is fine. Let's go for it. Let's go for it.
Unless there's an adjustment of Tauros lead, which I guess you could lead Tauros immediately, but that means that's fine because I can protect and then Illumina crash a Tauros, so that's okay. Oh, Floette Meowstic, okay. Interesting. I really want to just click Trick Room Belly Drum. I think Trick Room Belly Drum is fine here. Or I could Gunk Shot immediately. Or do I just Lumina Crash? I could Lumina Crash Gunk Shot since I don't need the Belly Drum set up immediately. You know what? I'm going to go for Lumina Crash. Lumina Crash doesn't seem too bad in Gunk Shot. I don't know if he has Fake Outs, so I'm kind of curious. Meowstic is brought here this time. Okay. Also, I'm kind of curious on if this is just Moonblast Dazzling or Moonblast plus Draining Kiss. I thought it was Dazzling Gleam, but maybe not. Okay. It does have Fake Outs. I'm not shocked on Fake Outs. So Fake Out is brought out. Okay. Go for Lumina Crash into the Floette. Good damage. And they go for Calm Mind, which is fine. Alright. So I don't think Snorlax is unfortunately getting the Belly Drum setup, which is super unfortunate, but I don't think this is too bad. I kind of just want to protect Gunk Shot because I don't think there's a way to knock out the Snorlax unless it's fake tears, but even then I'm not even sure that would KO realistically. So okay. I'm just gonna protect and I'm gonna go for Gunk Shot. Let's see. What does he go for? Light Screen is fine. Perfect. So if I had the Gunk Shot, I'd probably just KO. And if they Draining Kiss to heal, I'm pretty sure Gunk Shot and Illumina Crash will easily get the KO into Floette again. Nice. Good job, Snorlax. Gunk Shot. Good damage. Do I KO the Floette? It is behind Light Screen, but they were -1 special defense now. So I think Illumina Crash would. So I think I go for Illumina Crash. And I go for... Do I have Facade here? I could see them going Scovillain for the Meowstic slot. So I think I just go for Gunk Shot into the Meowstic. Because I cover for Scovillain, switch Protect from Floette, so they could Rage Powder the next turn. Yeah, I think this is always a play. Alright, let's see what Shady does here. I'm thinking it's... If he didn't bring Scovillain, I'm shocked here. Okay, they go for Reflect. So I'm pretty sure I get the KO on Floette here, if I'm not mistaken. So it's dual screens here. I do get the KO on Floette. Perfect. So that is in my range of expectation. Cool. And we get some poison into the Meowstic. No poison, but I mean, damage is damage. They do have screens up though. It can't be Light Clay because of the Rare and Regulation MA, so I only have to worry about like 5 turns of these screens up. Okay. What do they bring out next? Because if it's Tauros, it's getting Lumina Crash. Scovillain. Okay. So I think right here, this is looking fine for me. Do I go for Trick Room Belly Drum here? Trick Room Belly Drum isn't terrible. I really want to show off the skill swap tech. I'm not going to lie. I really want to show off the skill swap tech. You know what? I'm going to Lumina Crash the Scovillain, and I'm going to Gunk Shot. You know what? I think we saved it for the pocket. We're going to see Meowstic retreat. What's coming in? Tauros. Okay. That's fine. I get free damage into the Scovillain unless they protect, which is cool. Okay. Lumina Crash into the Scovillain. Decent damage here. Special defense drop is also important. Leech Seed into a Spaffer. Okay, so that's not too bad. Okay. I'm assuming, like, I really suspect that this is Scarf Tauros at this point. We get a Gunk Shot off into the Scovillain. We actually do some pretty good damage. I'll take it. Like, Snorlax is hitting these Gunk Shots like a champion. Okay. I think, again, I'm playing that they're like Scarf here. They get speed rise, which shouldn't matter too much here because, well, it does matter for my late mons, but I think I just go for Lumina Crash into the Tauros, and I go for a Facade into the Tauros as well. Yeah. This could be scary because I could definitely see Shady still being able to potentially win this one. We're going to see Meowstic come back in, okay? This has to be Protect then, right? Yeah. Okay. I don't mind that. I was worried that like the Tauros would rip a Flare Blitz into a Spafra, which would have been pretty annoying. We do go for Lumina Crash plus Facade into the Meowstic. So I'm assuming he's just trying to get a Fake Out off. Okay, that makes sense. Do I want to retreat a Spafra? Special Defense Rise, Special Attack Fall. A Special Attack Fall is nice. I could go Lucario here and just preserve the... I like preserving the Espafra because the Espafra is just really good wall breaker wise. And I don't want him to get like recovery, so I'll just reveal Protect on Snorlax now, I suppose. Trying to think about like what sets this up properly the best. I think it's Lucario and Protect. Because there's no way... Well, you could Fire Move to Espafra, and if you do, good play on Shady's part. I'm fine with that, though. So we will protect the Snorlax here. Just make sure that this Scovillain is in check. Fake Out going to come out, yep, into the Espafra. I just don't want to give him like a bunch of Leech Seed recovery for free. Yep, perfect. I wonder if Scovillain's in range of close combat. Light Screen wears off, which is nice. Another Speed Rise. Attack Fall. Okay. They got one more turn to Reflect. Do I rip the close combat? Do I think the Scovillain KOs my Lucario at -1 special attack? Oh, it 100% does. It 100% does. That's not even a question. Okay. I'm thinking here, though, I can go for close combat into the Scovillain, and I can go for a Belly Drum. And I either get a setup with Snorlax, or, which is in a decent spot here, I think. Because I'm assuming they're just resetting Light Screen, but let's see. Oh, they Leech Seed the Lucario. Did they not have Fire Move? Okay. We get a close combat off into the Scovillain. This should KO? Yeah, KOs. Even to reflect my Lucario is just insane. So we get a Scovillain, and then I think we're in a pretty good spot, but let's see. Okay, it's Psychic into Lucario, which is actually perfect. Because I set up my Snorlax to get the Belly Drum off. Okay. All I need is one KO here, and it looks like... Okay, so we know the full Meowstic moveset is Psychic. Tauros is the last mon. I'm assuming it's Scarf. And I feel pretty good about Espafra just being able to win the game at this point. So I think my play here... I don't need to target... Do I need to target the Tauros at all? There's no screens up, but I think my best play is just to close combat the Tauros slot and go for a Facade also into Tauros. Because Tauros can only knock out one, which means I get a big hit off with the other, which should allow me for victory here, I'm pretty sure. Because I can double protect Espafra and Vivian, then have Lumina Crash for the Tauros. Man, I didn't get to do the skill swap stuff, but I guess it was a little bit hard in order to actually get Snorlax set up. Okay, they go for Reflect, that makes sense. I'm assuming this is Reflect close combat maybe, or are they Flare Blitz here? They close combat, so they're going to lower their defenses, and now I have Vivian. Also, I don't know how they're beating Espafra. Like, Espafra just seems rough for them. Okay. Snorlax goes down. And here comes close combat into the Tauros. Good damage. Oh, I forgot about Leech Seed, but Leech Seed doesn't really change much here because the Tauros was already chipped. So I'm going to go out into Espafra here. Just click Protect. And... Actually, do I have to protect? No, I don't have to protect because close combat No, I don't have to protect at all, actually. Yeah, I can go for Meteor Mash into the Meowstic, and I can go for Lumina Crash into the Tauros. Because if it's Scarf Tauros, it goes... They reveal it here, but I'm assuming it is. They can only go for close combat, so it doesn't knock out a Spafra. And if they're not Scarf, I outspeed them with a Spafra, and Lumina Crash KOs the Tauros at this range. So I feel pretty good about this. Even if they get Light Screen up, it's fine. Yeah, it is Scarf, so I had a feeling. Because I pretty much knew that probably it was going to be one Mon that's going to outspeed and threaten Lucario, while Eternal Floette did like Eternal Floette thing. So this is perfect. Lumina Crash will KO here. The Tauros. Beautiful. And we will see the Psychic. Man, do I reveal my skill swap tech? Probably just go for a Lumina Crash Hurricane. I don't want to do anything to me. Like skill swap is just so unnecessary at this point. It just seems like BM, so I'm just gonna go for Hurricane plus Lumina Crash. So didn't get to do the Espafra text that I had, but Espafra was just really good at running away with the game and just threatening, again, good damage into Flood. I did get fortunate of hitting the first Gunk Shot especially. The other two were like very, I don't think really needed to. Maybe like the later one against Scovillain, but we take it. As Lumina Crash and a Hurricane will KO the Meowstic, and GG's to Shady. Okay. So I had a feeling, again, Scarf Tauros. I thought it'd be more offensive Floette instead of Calm Mind. And then the rest, and then the Scovillain Rage Powder, pretty much. I'm assuming it's Sash, but I have no clue. And that is another win for the Jubilife Piplups. Again, good game to Shady, as it's always a pleasure to face him in Draft League, especially since his content was basically how I got really invested into Draft League. So always a pleasure being able to face him once again. And I do think, even though we didn't get to pull out the tags with the Espafra and Snorlax, I mean, I think our team was overall pretty strong. I wasn't 100% confident in what Shady would bring other than the few sets I had in mind, but glad it really worked out, because I think it could have definitely gone a few different ways, especially with how scary that Eternal Floette could have been piloted. So really happy with the win here, and we'll see if we are able to win our next week, as we have the boss himself, a rematch of the finals next week with Wolfglick himself, for the final week of the Wolfey Draft League Season 2 regular season. We'll see how it goes.